It's imperative that if you're going to school, you make sure you stick to a major that's going to pay you, and you're going to do that job for life, and you're going to love that job. This 9-to-5 stuff is cuckoo. I'm so stressed in only a day or two at this 9-to-5 where I'm chewing vegan gum. Vegan gum? What is vegan gum? I might develop a cigarette habit the longer I stay here. Who the heck knows? Maybe a drinking habit. This 9-to-5 thing is for the birds. I was stressed the night before my first day. I'm not with none of this. Welcome back to the channel. For those of you who are new to the channel, this is Can I Be Earnest? When I'm not making videos of interest, I'm usually doing social commentary. Why? Because everyone else does. Well, here we are. I went back to a 9-to-5 and I'm kicking myself. There's just something about this type of environment that goes through my system. It creates an anxiety. I lie to you not. The Sunday before my first day back to the 9-to-5, I felt myself going into like a semi-depression. And I don't like to use that word depression so loosely, but I can't think of anything else. Almost immediately after the football games on Sunday, the Sunday before I started my 9-to-5, I can feel my whole mood shift. Just to give you guys a little backstory, I come from the 9-to-5 corporate setting. I've been doing it for about 20 years or so. And I had an epiphany maybe 5-10 years ago where I told myself, this isn't it. This can't be it. Like, it's time to figure things out. It's time to get away from this jail. It's time to follow some of my passions. And I did just that. Back in 2018, I completed my first novel, self-published. And I took a sabbatical from work, maybe about 1.5 years. I'm thankful. I'm grateful. I was just able to put myself in a position financially to do so. It's not easy. I'm not here to tell you it's easy, but when you want something bad enough, you'll figure it out. So I did that. I did go back to the 9-to-5, but if you watch my last video about Amazon and maybe some other scenarios in my archive, I always say you need to milk these 9-to-5s. Milk them. Whether it's taking advantage of the 6% 401k match, whether it's just finding a way to save a good percentage of your paychecks, that way you can take 1 year off, 2 years off. Again, I'm not here to say it's easy, especially if you have kids. Maybe you're the bread earner in your family, you're just relied on heavily and you just can't make moves like that. But for those who can make moves like that, who can just prioritize themselves and still take care of their financial obligations, it is beneficial to take a break if you hate your 9-to-5. And 9-to-5s don't necessarily mean 9-to-5. It could be any 8-hour shift that you may hate. But 9-to-5s typically are the worst. Why? Because they take up most of your morning, they take up all your afternoon and evening. That's why 9-to-5s are the worst, because it doesn't give you any kind of breathing room to do anything else. By the time you get home, it's bedtime, it's dinner time, it's maybe play with the kids time if you can squeeze that in, and it's night-night. It's night-night. The Monday evening after my 9-to-5, I was in bed by 8 p.m. I'm a late person. I go to bed early, but not 8 p.m. I can go to bed early some nights just because I'm getting up there in age, but not 8 p.m. I was in my PJs and I was rubbing my feet together to stay warm. All I needed was a blankie and a little pacifier. I felt like a kid. I felt like a little baby. But that's what a 9-to-5 will do. It will strip you from everything. And I know this is a growing trend on YouTube, but it's the honest truth. It's the honest truth. It makes you feel miserable. So that's my backstory. I write books. I take time away from work because I need it. I need to recharge. But I had to go back because my second novel was completed and I've almost reached 1 year now without a publisher. And my goal this time around was to find a publisher. And it's not easy. So self-publishing can be costly. And what I didn't want to do was deplete my savings account just to put a book out. So I had to re-up. And going back to a 9-to-5 was my version of re-upping. So I'll probably go forth and self-publish my book a second time. But in order to do that, you need the funds. It can be costly if you're trying to get your book to reach certain eyes. So that's my idea of milking this 9-to-5. I need to find a way to get in and get out. It's not for me. That's not for me. And I know that's a cute thing to say for a lot of people nowadays. Oh, I quit my 9 to 5 to become a content creator. I'm not saying any of that. It's just, you know, when you know, you know. When you know, you know. You can feel it in your bones. Walking through the office, being introduced to certain people, watching how robotic everyone is. These are young faces too. People just that are younger than me just are just caught in this whole web of just looking at their screen and, you know, oh man, it was depressing my first day. It was depressing. And they try to con you with the little vending machine snacks where you can develop bad eating habits. They try to con you with pretzels and pizza parties and all this little silly stuff. I'm a full adult, and walking in this environment and being told that I can't look at my cell phone during work hours, or if I wanted to place a phone call, I got to go into this booth in the center of the office to make a phone call. No adult needs to be given orders on when to use their cell phone. It's unheard of. By no means am I saying do you go to a job and just lollygag and not do a job. No, you're hired to do a job. But you got to cut some people some slack, especially adults. You know, I was told that you can get written up if they find you on your phone. Written up? Am I a kid? What are we doing? It led me to ask a question, what if I'm listening to music and I just want to change the song on the playlist and somebody sees me? What now? Is that cause for a write-up? It's just too many rules. Do I need to go into a Clark Kent phone booth to use a cell phone if I want to make a quick phone call or answer a doctor who's calling? It's just, these jobs do way too much for such little pay. You want to pay somebody $150, $200 a year? Give me all the rules you want. If you're not giving me money, if you're not giving me a salary anywhere close to that, you gotta let people breathe. You gotta let people be adults. We're spending our entire day in an office setting, stripped away from family, stripped away from personal interests, and then there's rules on top of that. We're gonna take you away from your home. We're gonna take you away from things you want to do all day long. And we're going to give you rules that are just laughable. Laughable. No one should have to go into a phone booth to make a personal phone call. I should be able to go downstairs to the lobby, step to my car, whatever. As long as I'm getting the job done, right? It's an employer's market, and they're able to pull a lot of shenanigans because you're replaceable as an employee, especially in these times. You don't want to do the job? Fine. You're fired. We'll find somebody else. There's always someone looking for a job. But these rules and the depression you get, that Sunday night was telling. Because over the last year or so, I've been able to make my own schedule, working for a nonprofit company, doing something that I hold near and dear to my heart. Helping people with learning disabilities, things of that nature. And if it weren't for me wanting to get my book out, perhaps I would have just stayed where I was at. Perhaps I would have just stayed and would have figured it out. Again, I'm thankful to be able to have put myself in a position to where I can take little sabbaticals like this. I can't guarantee that the next video I make, I'll still be at this 9 to 5. I can't guarantee it. I usually have a 1 foot in, 1 foot out mentality when I get to jobs, especially jobs that I despise. And understand something, guys. You can love your 9 to 5. If it's something you love to do, then this is not for you. The 9 to 5, the narrative about the 9 to 5 is so negative, and it doesn't have to be. It's only negative when you're doing something you don't like. And anytime it's involving a job, in my opinion, it should be something you like. A place you look forward to spending 8 hours at. The moment I got here, I cringed. I thought about all the reasons why I stayed away for so long. From the body language of the other employees to watching little cliques in the corner whispering, and it just felt like high school. It felt like jail/high school. That's what this 9 to 5 office setting feels like to me. Cliques and people angry and people just doing all the robotic stuff and tight-lipped smiles and all the stuff that I just despise. So I know it's not for me. Again, it might be for you. And it's okay if it's for you. But I've reached my boiling point, and I just can't believe that, unfortunately, nonprofits and other types of jobs just don't give you the pay along with the joy you may receive from those jobs. If nonprofits paid accordingly in today's inflation world, no brainer, I stick around. No brainer. You're telling me you're going to give me a good salary and I get to do something that I'm passionate about and I'm making my schedule? I'm not leaving that for a 9 to 5, but they just weren't offering enough. And I have goals. So if you have goals, man, the point of this video is, if you have goals, milk these 9 to 5s to the best of your ability. Get in, get out. It's as simple as that. And I'm hoping to follow my own advice. But this is depressing, man. I'm, taking a lunch break, recording a video, voicing my displeasure with this system. A system that's never going away. A system that just doesn't want to get with the times. And one thing I don't do is I never claim a job. That's how disgusted I am with the system. You'll never hear me say my job, my desk. I don't claim it. Why? Because it's not what I want to do. So you'll always hear me say the job, the desk. Not claiming it. Not claiming it. But I will claim milking the 9 to 5. Milk it to the best of your ability. We're in a holiday season. If you needed to pay bills, if you needed to get gifts, if you needed to set up a vacation situation for yourself, do what you got to do. In my case, I need it for my book expenses, and I'll figure the rest out. There's just no way I can get through this for a year, 2 years. There's someone out here who needs it more than me. There's someone out here who would be more appreciative of it than I am. It just sucks that the 9 to 5 offers a little stability that a lot of us need in order to get to where we need to get to. Some of us don't want to take chances with, some of the other opportunities out there. Tough. It's tough. But the glass half full to this video is, milk these 9 to 5s. Create the videos if it means venting and getting things off your chest, but milk the 9 to 5 to the best of your ability and get out of there. Get out of there. It'll drain your soul.